What is good, Foundation Nation, and welcome to the Beginner's Guide to Disc Golf. Today's episode, we're going to be breaking down the X step. Let's get into it. Alright, so before we get into this video at all, if you're a beginner and you're watching this obviously to learn the X step, make sure that you first have watched our just backhand form breakdown, because this video is pretty much only going to be on the lower half of the body. This is going to be on your footwork and a little bit of timing with your reach back, but the whole pull through, all of that stuff, I'm not going to cover here because I already covered it. So the link should be in a card up here, or if you're on mobile or whatever, it'll be in the description down below. Make sure you watch that first because that's going to be crucial to have that down before you ever even start this video. But to get things started, you should at this point have your standstill form down. So you should have your footwork down, know where your feet should be, your reach back, your pull through, timing, all of that stuff. The biggest thing with transitioning into the X step is being able to keep that timing, because what a lot of people will do is they'll just immediately be like, oh, I got my standstill form down, and then they'll just run into what they think's an X step. Camera guy might have missed it. They'll run into what they think's an X step, and their upper body and lower body won't be synced. So it's important to actually build your X step. So a lot of the footwork that I'm about to show you is actually from what's called the Dan Beto drill. If you haven't watched that before, his videos on working from the hip backwards, it kind of teaches you your whole form all together. I'm not going to be teaching the upper half portion of that, but the lower half I think is very important. So what you're going to want to do to start things off is have both your feet close together, standing here like this, and then have your elbow pointed towards your target and ready to go. And all you're going to want to do is, before you even throw, just get used to this timing. You're going to be standing here, knees a little bit bent, and then you're going to step forward and out to where you would be if you're about to throw a standstill. So legs a little bit shoulder width apart, a little wider than shoulder width apart, and a little bit forward so it's staggered like I taught before. You're going to step forward, and as you step forward, you're going to reach back. One of the keys with the X step timing is you want your reach back to be fully extended as your front foot's planting the ground. And the second thing you want to be focusing on with this is that your foot, the heel of your foot is facing towards the basket. So you don't want it to be like here, you don't want it to be here, anything like that. Because if I'm here, I can't turn my hip back. If I'm sideways, it's hard for me to turn my hip back. If my foot rotates all the way, you can see the difference that's making. So the important thing is, like, watch my reach back here. I'm fully extended, right? My foot's sideways, parallel. I'm here. As I turn that back, look how much more of a reach that gives me. That's that much more that I can pull through. And this isn't overreaching. This is overreaching. This, I'm still square here. I'm reaching back, but just turning my hip like that allows me to open myself up a little bit more to where when I pull through, I have that much more time to build up my snap and build up the pull through. So what you want to do is just be standing here and just do this some to get comfortable with it. Step forward and reach back. It seems weird, you feel dumb, it's important. Keep doing that, and then eventually what you want to do is, as you reach back, then you want to go ahead, weight transfer, and pull through. So a few important things with this part before you even start building up is, on your weight transfer and pull through, remember to be punching towards your hip, to engage your hip, and then what you should be feeling is your foot, the weight transfers to your heel of your front foot as it comes over, and then you're doing what you call bracing, which is, as you come through, the only thing that really breaks this plane over your front leg should be the disc in your arm. And then as you come through, this is a lot easier to do standstill, but as you build the X step, it gets harder and harder, is maintaining your balance. So I'm here, I reach back, as I pull through, I should be balanced. One important thing with bracing, you'll notice with a lot of pros, is the majority of them brace on their heel. Big question is why? Why do they do that? The thing is, that's how you see they're balanced. You don't have to brace on your heel. You can brace just as good on your toes, but the issue with bracing on your toes is when you do that, a lot of times that means your body weight is up over the front, and if I do that, I'm losing a lot of momentum that should be going into the disc, because instead I'm having to fall forward and catch myself, not generating as much snap or nearly as much power. When I brace on my heel, it's a lot easier to stop that and be standard, just standing there at the end. So if I'm fully here, brace on my heel, come through. I'm in an athletic position, I'm still balanced. Those are some important things. But you want to do this drill to where you're comfortable throwing and your timing feels just as good as it does when you're just throwing standstill. You're going to be here, there, through. Once your timing feels just as good, you're getting the same amount of snap, then it's time you can start building the X step. The next thing that we're going to do is actually like a mini X step. So basically it's just going to be from the X part on. So he's not going to be walking into it. So all you're going to do, stand with your feet together, right foot out in front, left foot behind, and then right foot here. So from this spot where your feet are crossed to here is that drill you just worked on, but to get there you're going to cross your feet a little bit. Why do you do this? The whole point of the X step is to get your hips ready. So you put your right foot forward, perpendicular to your target line. Your left foot comes behind, and you can notice my hips are already starting to turn away just by crossing my feet like that. This is the point of the X step. Then you're in prime position to have your foot extend, and now my hips are fully turned away, I'm engaged, and I'm ready to pull through and throw my shot. So you're going to want to do this a few times, and again, you want to make sure that this timing here is important. You're getting your fully reached back as your foot goes forward. So I'm here, I'm together, I go right foot, left foot, right foot, and I'm fully reached back. You're going to do that a few times again, and then you're going to want to throw like that. So once I have that down, I'm ready, and then I would come through and be balanced again. If at any point you feel like you're doing it too fast to where you're like and flying off the tee and out of the frame, you're doing it wrong. Okay, so if you ever at any point reach into your tee pad and you're having to catch yourself and falling forward, you're doing it wrong. Slow down first, slowly build. So you're gonna start here. Literally, this is the speed I want you to go. You're here, just like this. See how like slow and in control that is? That disc is still gonna be able to move because of the correct footwork and the timing. So once you have this down, and some of these might be in different days. You might day one only work on this. You might day two only be working on this. Just because my progression is gonna be about a 5-minute, from the first step on in this video, yours might be 2 weeks to get there. Don't rush it. It's important to get this right. Final thing you want to do is the actual X step. So you've kind of built this in, you've gotten used to having your footwork and timing like that. Now we're going to work on the actual X step. So you're going to start facing ahead, and then it's the same thing you were just doing here, but instead of it being mini, you're lined up at your target and you're going left foot forward, right foot here. This is where the mini one started. So you go left foot forward, right here, left one comes behind, right foot forward. That's the full X step. So if I was on the back of the tee and I was going to do it full speed, it would just look like this. And then I'm through and I'm about to throw. So you don't want your steps to be too big. When you're just starting out, you just want to walk through it. So I just want to start here, left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. My hips are turned away, my front foot's there, and then I would weight transfer and go through. A few important things with the upper body that are a lot different from when you're throwing a standstill. Your reach back timing is crucial. Personally, what I like to do is when I get my left foot, as I'm planting my right foot, I like to have a little pump here, and then my disc doesn't move. Sounds weird. This is something that Paul told me. Act like there is basically a stake through your disc into the ground. So go left foot, I pump, and then I walk past my disc. If that makes sense. So if I were to do it, I basically pump, and then the disc doesn't move from that spot, and it brings it into the reach back at the right time. So basically what that pump does is it gets it where the disc is going to be, and then you kind of go past the disc, and it'll allow you, this is really important if you struggle with getting your reach back too early, to where some people will be like this. Well, that's going to throw all kinds of timing off because my reach back's been here so long that now my arm might get ahead or my arm might get behind, whatever can happen. Or they'll reach back too late and they'll never get fully extended. So they'll come through and they'll be like, and that's as far as they get right here, and then they're trying to pull through. You're missing all this power, or you're missing all the power from your leg being built up if you're there too early. Getting there on time is important. A good way to do that is the pump. So you pump it and then you walk past it and then you're here and you pull through. When you're doing this, super critical to go slow. So you start here. This is literally the speed I want you to do it at first. Okay, literally like that, and then you're throwing. So once you get to this point here, It's the same thing from all these drills. This is why you do those drills. You're right here, you're loaded on this foot, you're just planting forward and going. One other thing that's important is throughout the whole part of this, you're gonna be on the balls of your toes, balls of your feet. You don't wanna be on your heels. If I'm on my heels, you know, I'm leaning back, I don't have good balance, I don't have control. If I'm on my toes, I have all that. I have control, I know where the disc is going, and I'm in an athletic position ready to transfer my weight. So, balls of your feet, it allows you to be a lot more quick, a lot more athletic, and that weight transfer will be a lot more powerful. Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully we also had a few shots of me doing the X steps so you can actually kind of see that worked in. But make sure you comment down below whatever questions you have. I'll be answering those comments as much as I possibly can. Check links in the description below as well to our Instagram, Facebook, website, all of that good stuff. And also let us know down below what other guides you want to see in the Beginner's Guide to Disc Golf. We'll talk to you guys next week.